What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the Tuesday Track Talk, episode number 96, with your three stones picture. We're already off to a great start.
You are. Yep.
I'm your tire changer, Cam.
I'm your Jackman Kel.
I'm a gas man, Cam.
We got going to be a fairly quick episode, but I feel like we're getting a lot of discussion out of this. We're going to cover a couple of races that happened over the weekend. We're going to get a lot of news knocked out of the way here since we got a couple extra days. Pick a wheelman for the week, make a few race picks for Darlington this coming weekend, and then sign off from there. So, what's been going on, fellas, since we last reconvened with each other?
I do enjoy the Saturday night cup race. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed the Saturday night as compared to the Sunday afternoon. I get it, it's something different, but I did thoroughly enjoy that.
I think I just enjoy racing under the lights.
That also helps. So,
No, it's good weekend. Actually saw each other at a little birthday party. So
Yep.
oh yeah.
we were convened there, but no, it's good to see the corrupt commissioner, and let's get rocking and rolling.
All right.
Keep talking.
We're only gonna have a couple races that we're gonna cover here today. First one we had boots on the ground on for. The old IndyCar at Milwaukee making their second trip back there. This time only for a one race special on Sunday. With the cup race being on Saturday, we actually had the opportunity for all of us to watch it in some way, shape, or form. I feel like for the most part. Like I said, I was boots on the ground, and I could just tell you that the place was packed. There were a lot of people there. Obviously, being on the fairgrounds, all the stands were open. Definitely gave it that fair type of feel as you're walking around. But happy to see that there were a lot of people there again for the second rendition of it since it's come back. So I don't know what it looked like on TV, but
Yeah, I don't know. I was fairly impressed with the broadcast, to be honest. It was pretty solid. There really wasn't a whole lot of cutting away from the race, which was good. But they did a good job of just like panning to where the action was, I felt. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say, for the second IndyCar of the year that I've watched, IndyCar race that I've watched, no, I thought it was a pretty solid broadcast all around. And not only that, but I felt like it was a fun race to watch, to be honest with you. I guess I'm, speaking, maybe this is my IndyCar ignorance, but I'm usually used to 2.5 mile Indy 500, and it was actually fun to watch on a mile track. Some guys zooming around different lanes, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually.
and even on top of that, you had a couple guys that go a little different on tire strategy that made some restarts interesting. And it kind of scattered the field a little bit. I can't remember who it was that stayed out on the old tires, but he got swallowed up in a hurry. But it was just kind of interesting to see guys like moving around, searching for grip. But then also sometimes taking advantage of cautions falling in terms of taking a chance on a cycle to try to get track position.
yep. And even to that point, there weren't very many cautions for that race.
No.
Which it takes to account how clean a racing that they got. And even then with the racing, it got a little single laned there for a little while. But you had that caution that kind of broke it up. Sweepers were able to come out and clear out the top lane of all the marbles. Guys, restarts were insane. Just watching the guys going double wide with each other. And then, we always say Ma Nature's never good, but I think in this case, Ma Nature actually was kind of a blessing for this one, where it grouped everybody up. And like you said, had that last pit strategy that came into play, where a lot of guys did come and get tires for that final restart.
Yep.
And test themselves up. Interestingly enough, though, so I'm looking at all the stats here. the top three actually only pitted 4 times, with your
Jeez.
winner actually being pitting 4 times as well, but having the fresher
Yep.
tires.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, brother, we are picking up a ton of background static here.
On me?
I don't know, somebody.
All right, well, I'll try it.
Oh, that worked.
Did it go away? Is it me or no?
That was you.
It's definitely you. You raking leaves or what are you doing?
That playing around?
Jesus Lord. Yeah, no, and they talked about it. That was the big thing with the races. They just mentioned 4 stops was the goal
Yep.
in terms of being able to um get tires where they needed them. Fuel really wasn't a concern. But it was all about just the tires you had and when you had them. So
Yep. Ultimately, though, I mean, Alex Palou dominated that race, led 199 laps. Um, he was one of those guys that took advantage of that last pit stop in order to get fresh
yep,
tires, restarted fifth or sixth or something like that. And just tore through the field.
absolutely.
Ultimately caught Palou and had that phenomenal pass on the outside to get the lead there late
Yep.
in the run.
Yeah, for sure.
The guy
No,
was
I mean,
on.
for not watching much IndyCar racing, that I mean, thoroughly entertaining. If they were racing again there this weekend, I'd watch and tune in again for sure too.
Sure.
So no, I was thoroughly impressed with that in terms of the broadcast and the actual racing product itself.
I will say the crowd reaction, pretty much any time Alex Palou got challenged for the lead was phenomenal.
It seemed pretty full.
Yeah, everybody was on their feet. They were hooting and hollering. And obviously, with Rasmussen getting that lead, they're on the outside. I was listening to the TV guys at the time, and they were talking about how it was very reminiscent of New Garden at Indy, how on rails he was and almost hitting the wall or spinning himself out and this, that, and the other, and gave him a lot of credit for his driving style and basically he earned that one.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Palou's
no,
been
it's
in the
pretty.
news a little bit too lately. Um, they got ahead of that and said it's not actually true, but there was some smoke about Palou there this week on social media a little bit,
oh,
but
that, yeah, I saw that too.
which would have
Yeah,
been absolutely wild. But um, yeah, they got out ahead of that and nixed that. So um, yeah, that was interesting. After watching that IndyCar race and then seeing that on social media, it was like I was scratching
Yeah.
head.
yep,
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got my event T-shirt as I
nice.
typically do.
Yep.
No, I said place was packed. Had a really good time. Definitely hope they do it again. Schedule hasn't come out yet, but I really hope they do it again. Um, maybe I'll do the garage scene next time around. See what
That'd be
it
cool.
looks like down there. So no, overall really good experience. Obviously Christian Rasmussen gets his first career IndyCar win and the first win for Ed Carpenter Racing in quite a while. Like I said, at the aforementioned Alex Palou finished second, Scott McLaughlin third. Was some competition, but not a whole lot. Alexander Rossi took advantage of tires, finished fourth. Paddle Award fifth. Christian Lundgaard sixth. Newgarden seventh. David Malukas eighth. Scott Dixon ninth, and Marcus Armstrong finished out in the top 10 for that one.
I was going to ask you one quick question. You know, you said felt like fair, all that, but what was the overall experience, boots on the ground?
Great. They had I missed it, but they had the autograph session right as the gates opened up there. They had all the buildings with food and drinks and all that opened up. Um, They have the Indy Next race earlier on in the evening, so you can catch another race if you really wanted to. The only thing I guess fair wise that really wasn't going was the Skyline chairs.
Got it. Yep.
But no, yeah, I mean no shortage of food and places to go and places to drink and this, that, and the other. So had the
Good.
simulator that you could run a lap at Indy. I
Nice.
botched it off at turn 2 and I hit the grass. So
Yep, had to try it. Why not, right?
yeah. So but no, enjoyed it. I thought it was you could easily entertain yourself there. Um and enjoy your time there. So
Nice. Cool.
cool. Any other final thoughts with Indy before we move on briefly or quickly to Daytona?
No,
All right. So
No,
Saturday night.
I was actually, well, like Helen said, if they would go back there again, I would actually tune in and watch. And I don't know what's left on their schedule, but I would actually, if we find a similar track like that, I actually would entertain another race. So,
Well, so they're racing at Nashville this weekend
okay. I
for the
mean,
season finale.
we're 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 broadening the scope on the racing scene right now. So I'll
Yep.
run it back again, see how it goes.
All
yep.
right. Cool deal. So, all right, let's talk about Daytona here. Um, Obviously our bread and butter, as I would typically say. So, um, pretty. I don't know. I felt like it was pretty mixed reviews as far as how the racing went. I don't think it was as expected. I would say for starters. You definitely had your high and low moments. Um, Almost got very. This conversation could have been a lot different, with about a half lap to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll pitch it to you, fellas. What's your overall first initial thoughts with Saturday's Cup race?
I mean, to be honest with you, it really wasn't. I kind of expected it to be a little bit more of a wreck fest. There really was the one big one
Yep.
with Bubba and Larson and those guys on the front row there. But really after that, everyone else, for the most part, pretty much played nice, or moves were a little more calculated. I mean, you want to talk about an ending. I mean, you had four of the top five guys that hadn't won a race yet. Like
Yep.
Bowman was shaking in his boots watching that happen with about 2 to go. Um, but yeah, it really wasn't a wreck fest, which was good to
No.
see. I think puts it a little bit more in the strategy, driver, crew chief hands to be able to do that. The only part I think I wish I would have seen a little more. Um, would have liked to seen a green flag pit stop
Yep.
because I don't
Which
think
we had it what they were I thought they were in the middle of green flag pit stops, and then I thought there was a caution that grouped everybody back up. Maybe it was Logano. I think that was the Logano spin.
yeah. But either
Where
way,
he intentionally drove in the grass.
I would have liked to have seen
Pretty
another
close.
green flag stop. That's my only thing.
Sure. I think that was just purely how the cautions played out, obviously. Um,
Yeah.
no, I was gonna say like I don't think the fuel saving conversation really came up at all, which again, I think that was just due to the cautions that how they played out. So it let guys race, and I think
Yep.
at that it set the race up for really good racing at that. I guess from a purist standpoint, who doesn't want to see a whole lot of wrecks, I think that was a pretty damn good race as far as just guys shuffling through the field and going back and forth and catching drafts and throwing blocks and this, that, and the other.
Looking at so we haven't talked about this much lately, but the Gluck poll, it was 88.2% yes. That's the number 4 Daytona race out of 18 that he's done. The highest percentage was a 91-1, so it's pretty damn close. It ranks 8th out of 47 super speedway races since 2016. And it's number 5 of 16 in Ryan Blaney victories. The highest was Talladega in 2020 at a 94.3. So the reviews on that race in terms of what people voted on Gluck's poll was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, and I think, I mean, not only that, but obviously, like you said, the big one that took out a good chunk of cars early, um, just only amplified um, this wild playoff picture that we had or format that we continue to have with NASCAR. I mean, you got Bowman going out, you got Reddick with damage early, and it was like NASCAR. This, if we're building another episode or making another episode of Speed, like this is all NASCAR could hope for. The guy on the cut line wrecks early and everything's out of his control, gets to sit back and like you said, it was nice to be at a super speedway and not have to talk about fuel saving, or at least the announcers, banging that drum on the broadcast. So,
Yep.
That was fun. And then not only that, but I think, I don't know whether you like the format or not, you've got exactly what NASCAR wanted there at the end. 4 or 5 guys, all within
car lengths
of winning their first race of the year and locking themselves in the playoffs. Eric Jones, Cole Custer, Suarez.
Reese had a chance until no one went with him.
Yep.
Which
I was surprised of. I get why they did it, but I was surprised that happened to start with.
Well, so my whole conversation around how the end of this race played out is like some of these guys, like Jones wanted to talk to Larson and why he didn't push him. Well, race manipulation or not, why would Larson want to help shove his teammate out of the playoffs?
Yep.
It's a very simple Team Hendrick type scenario. Like,
and
I get it, but like at the end of the day, why would Larson want to push Jones or anyone else that hasn't won a race yet into the playoffs when he knows that Bowman is sitting in the garage? Like, it's a very simple solution.
Well, I would even say you could go broader with that. And we saw this play out with Parker Retzlaff however many years ago. Why would a Chevy push a Toyota to the win?
Very simple. It's like Priest wondered why no one wanted to help him because he had a bunch of different manufacturers behind him.
And
Chevy doesn't want to push a Ford to the win. Ford doesn't want to push a Chevy to a win. Toyota wants nothing to do with but racing with Toyotas. Like, it's very simple when you get to plate racing.
And Kyle Larson was answering to his boss on Monday morning.
Goddamn right he was.
And his boss and that manufacturer said, or that team that he was answering to on Mondays, went in there and he executed the strategy that was, we've got to get our 4th car in the playoffs. And at all costs, do what you can, win the race yourselves, push somebody else that's won a race, and
win
at the end of the day, like,
if you got it, yeah.
And you can be mad, whatever, but at the end of the day, like, Larson was made a move to try to win the race himself. Like,
yep.
And that ultimately is what he's there to do. He's ultimately there to win the race and then himself. And then option B is if he can't win it, help your team or help somebody that's won a race to help your teammate. Like,
yeah, kind of going on these conversations a little bit of the race manipulation stuff. The only thing I think about it is like, yeah, it's race manipulation, but like I just think it's beyond exaggerated at a super speedway.
Oh, and the only reason it's like this is just because of the whole Martinsville thing.
And look at the way when he shoved the 43 out of line. Don't blame him a single bit for doing that. I want you because you're a Toyota. I don't want to push you around.
Yep.
Pushed him out of line. He got himself to the lead of that line. Not only did he not have to work with the Toyota, he's also leading the line and he can do what he wants.
Yep. And if you're in the lead of that line, you're trying to get the runs, but you're also defending your position in that line because as soon as you get kicked out, nobody's coming with you.
No, you're going right to the back.
And that doesn't matter if you're a Jones, if you're a Blaney, if you're a Priest, a Larson. You're in the front of that line and you get out of line, somebody's taking it. Plain and simple.
Yep, goodbye.
I don't know if you guys saw Larson post race, but he's, when Jones said, "Oh, I want to talk to Larson," Larson said, like, at that speed, all I can see is a bumper and I can just manage my throttle. Like like he was saying, like he's basically a pinball in there. You know, he can manage his throttle a little bit to an extent, but like he said, like all I can see is a bumper. And you know, somebody's pushing him behind, you know, whatever. Like he's basically saying, like, yeah, it wasn't intentional, but you're going 190 miles an hour, 2 feet from the bumper of a car, and you got somebody that's right on yours. Like, to be honest, like there's sometimes like there isn't a whole lot he can do. But I mean, yeah, um he what's I
And
gonna say?
I was gonna say there was no wrongdoing in any of that whatsoever.
No, I think it's all
Like
yeah,
you
I
said,
think it was all fair.
yeah, that's
And
what you expect from super speedway racing. Again, if you got to get in line.
Absolutely.
and yeah, I don't know. People can be as mad as they want, but
I'm just glad it wasn't a wreck fest coming to the checkers. Yeah, did we wreck a few cars after the checkers? Yeah, but it wasn't like we wadded up the entire field.
Correct. We could
We got
actually race it out to the line.
yeah, it was okay. Let's see who's the super speedway racer without wadding up a bunch of cars, and then it's like the Austin Dillon scenario where you got 3 cars left on the racetrack, and if you can just survive, you win the race. Like
Yeah.
it actually took the talent and skill and being in tune with your spotter to make the right moves to get the job done. That's what I
Or
appreciated.
take it like a Byron did at the 500 and be third in line. Everybody wrecks in front of you. You just
Shoot the gap, right? Yeah, correct.
here's what I was gonna say. Not totally changing pace. It was because we were talking about him, but and I don't want to totally change the subject of um, talking about Daytona, but playoff picture um, and playoff standings. Larson, did he secure the third spot in the playoffs?
hold please, I can
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah, he did because that was a big debate. If he if he went to finished where he did, he'd have fell to like sixth or something in the playoffs.
Are you
And
talking
not only
Larson?
that, yeah,
Larson secured the 1 seed. Larson's 26, tied with Byron. I forget what the tiebreaker was, but Larson's seeded number 1.
Got it. So he needed to
well,
finish that race as well.
what was he? What did he get the 1 seed for or by?
Oh.
How many
I think he
points?
got the 1 seed because he was the regular.
No, he got the spot by 2 points, and he had 3 races that he had the Xfinity fastest lap, and he got 3 points
Yes.
for getting those 3 fastest laps, and everyone was pissing him on about the fastest lap thing, and he ended up doing it 3 times, and he needed 2 points to finish where he was, and he
That's what
got
it was.
yup.
And not to throw a whole nuance into all of this, you know, we've debated the whole playoff format, this, that, and the other thing. But now we got another wrinkle. Now we got another wrinkle that people can start paying attention about. I mean, there's weeks, a couple weeks there, dude wrecked his stuff and he went out 64 laps down and turned that little blue clock on the tower on the side of your TV.
Mexico City. They took that thing to the garage and they worked on it. And Cliff Daniels said, "Let's just." They openly said on the radio, "Let's just try to go get the fastest lap," and they did.
Yep. That's the same thing as when the stages first, this whole stage thing came out. Truex was, him and Cole Pern were going for the stages,
Yep.
and nobody realized it until it got to end of the regular season, and they had this massive advantage going in the playoffs. Here's Larson gathering all the fast times in order to help himself start the playoffs, and nobody realized it until now.
Yep.
As Cam always throws out, they were playing chess while everybody else was playing checkers.
Goddamn right they were.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of I have one other point I was going to talk to you guys about the race. Yeah, I guess I thinking about it, wasn't my point, but we can talk about it too. I mean, the big one early takes out somebody who had to win and get in, but I feel like there's question marks now. We're going into the playoffs without Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch,
Right,
like
Priest.
Ryan Priest.
Priest.
There's
Here's
like
so
there's
here's
three
your
spots that are kind of like iffy.
here's your first five, or no, sorry, your first four out. Busher, Priest, Gibbs, and Bush. Those were your
Well,
first four out.
yeah, Gibbs is another one. I
And
mean,
I don't want to have this conversation right now, but you know, I'm looking at some of this playoffs, who's in the playoffs. I don't know, man. I either am going to question this format again, or I'm going to question some of the staples in the sport. I don't I don't think I can win or gain fans by whatever way I argue, but I'm either going to start arguing about this format, or I'm going to start asking some serious questions about Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs. Like, which one do you guys want me to question?
I go more on the format side of things because the one that stands out to me is that car with this number on the side. That's the one I have a big issue with.
For those that are listening, he was talking about the three.
Correct.
Well, he's a Richmond master. I'll go here, and you guys are probably gonna get mad about this, but Jizzy season.
He cracked the code though.
He I
So
said he
that could be
did
a
exactly
question
what
mark.
he was
I
hired
can
to do.
argue this. Yeah, I could argue the schedule. I could argue, yeah, but
And depending on how those races
But
go, he
but Austin
has
Dillon doesn't have that.
he's got a 16-point advantage right now.
Right. Jizzy has the old road course ringer. He was going to win every freaking one of them if he could. What did we have circled for Austin Dillon to win this year?
Maybe a super speedway race.
Maybe. Maybe. I didn't have him winning Richmond the way he did.
No,
Not the way he won it
well,
last year because he shouldn't have even won the race last year.
come on, Cal. You saw what old Papa said. He just knows how to get around this place.
all right.
I guess.
Well, and next year when we're recording an episode before then,
Go ahead and pick him
we
then. Be a race
no,
pick.
we know who's definitely going to pick him. Whichever one of you guys goes first, you're going to hit the old quick Google search who won Richmond in 2024. You guys are going to see, or 2025, you guys are going to see Dillon, and you guys are going to pick Ty Dillon or Austin Dillon.
He's gonna pick him to wreck him.
Yep.
That is classic. No, but I also had this thought after some other teams that I want not trying to keep the topic on the race itself, but I can't help but start asking some questions about colleague racing, front row, like just, a little bit more of an off-season topic, but question marks there as well.
Yeah,
Well, to your point,
knocked himself in quite the jiffy too.
well, to your point, like I don't think either of those organizations were really like they just weren't there.
Not relevant. I will say one thing: if they can figure it out, I do feel like front row they got a nice core group of young guys there. If they can just figure it out, Gregson, Gillen, Smith, like those are three, respectable guys that dominated their other series. Like if they could figure it out, those young guys, that could be a team they could go on runs for a while.
Good.
I'm still thinking about that Spire camp.
Yeah,
Which we'll
he's
get to that a little bit later.
I mean, McDowell's obviously a presence.
yeah.
So I don't know.
How'd you
I
guys
don't
like
know.
seeing Casey Mears back at the track?
Didn't even realize he was even racing until I saw him spin.
Yeah, he blew a couple tires too.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I just
Wow.
I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to hit that milestone, and I hate the way I can appreciate him trying to do it, but I hate the way that he's doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
How about the old Arby's machine getting up there on Saturday night leading some
Oh,
laps?
that was a scary.
Well, that goes to the point of depending on how that
Sorry,
had
totally
gone,
all over the place
we
tonight.
could have had a
Let's jump right
completely
back into the race.
conversation. We wouldn't have even talked about IndyCar at Milwaukee. The entire episode would have been this. We probably wouldn't even hit the news.
No. We'd have broke the news that NASCAR is going to change the format next year is what would have happened.
But that would have been the narrative for every radio show, every talk show, everything afterwards would have been the playoff format, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But at least this week we could talk about the race that was and the playoffs that we're going into.
Correct.
And you know damn well if whoever it was, because they had media day today as well, that whoever it was that would have won that race, you know damn well that they would have fell out of place.
Yep.
Unfortunately. So
what do we got going on? Ooh.
Just good vacuum.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we're not having that conversation today because that'd have been an episode record, to be honest.
been heated discussion, I feel like, at that.
Oh my God.
So
Justin Haley too. What a run.
Yeah, he's another one to try to weasel his way in there.
done it once before.
Yeah, that little shyster. Yup.
What's your guys' final grade on that race?
A minus.
I was gonna go A minus, yeah.
I'd agree. I'll go A minus.
Would have liked to have not seen that wreck. Let it race out from there. Like, yeah, you're gonna have wrecks, but like to have it happen that early, I wish I would have got to see some of those guys play out a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I think the only way I would have gone up in my grade, and this is just personally for me, is if Blaney would have dominated the race.
all right.
Fair.
So that's all personal.
That's all personal, 100%.
Yep.
I mean, and yeah, I think Kellen, I think A minus too, but there are some cars that I would have liked to see survive. I mean, Bubba, what's he been known for since he's gotten in NASCAR? Restrictor plate, spin house. What's he been known for? Kyle Busch,
Logano was there
Austin.
until he wasn't.
Yep, Austin Cindric. Like, took out some good cars right off the rip. And
Hamlin wasn't the same.
Hamlin wasn't the same. Just guys that were like that's what they're known for, and they make super speedway racing good. Zapped some of those guys right off the bat, but no, overall I thought it was a fun race. Like you said, under the lights at Daytona,
Nothing like
can't
it.
beat it.
Yep.
So, all right. Any final thoughts here, fellas, on Daytona before we cover quite a bit of news here?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so let's hit it then. Again, we got quite a bit of news here. Maybe we could have some discussions about some stuff here as well. Kellen, I think we're gonna let you kick off this first section here.
Yeah. It's now official. O'Reilly Auto Parts is the official sponsor of the now former Xfinity Series. Connor Zillage had a good one when they were talking with him and Parker Kligerman, and he goes, hopefully this car is as fast as Xfinity Internet. And he goes, we got hardware from O'Reilly Auto Parts in my shoulder to get me fixed. So he's already won't be an Xfinity Series guy unless he runs a couple one-offs. But
that first bonus check's already been written.
yeah, he's already playing the game, which good for him for thinking of that right out of the gate. We kind of discussed it a little bit in terms of the Lucas Oil deal with Cade Dillard. So Topless 100, Cade Dillard at Garrett Alberson got into it. Obviously, Cade Dillard pointed a finger at Alberson and said this, that, and the other thing. Lucas Oil announces that he gets a 6-month suspension for his actions on and off the track and, in quotations, deemed aggressive and violating the driver conduct policy. So Lucas Oil said, yeah, that's enough of that. In kind of media news, Matt Weaver, he heads over to motorsport.com as a senior NASCAR editor. So kind of to be determined on what goes on with the short track scene.
Said he's got some projects that he's working on.
Yep.
I can imagine that's got something to play into it.
Yep. So, he said over there. Connor Zillage, I mean, this is probably the least surprising news. Connor Zillage to drive full-time for the Cup Series with Trackhouse, WeatherTech, and Red Bull to be anchor sponsors. Car number to be announced at a later date. So, nothing surprising there. And then Colleague Racing, and I think this was kind of the one that everyone was looking at to see what was going to happen and who Ram was going to go with. Well, Colleague Racing announces they will be running the Ram truck program in 2026 with 5 trucks. Ram is self-funding all 5 of those teams. Colleague Racing will stay with Chevy for the Xfinity and the Cup Series programs and staying in their buildings that are on the RCR campus down in Welcome, North Carolina. So, yeah.
I wanted to throw a thought into that because obviously they've got the Cup team with a sprinkled all-star car in there now and then. They got 2 full-times with the all-star car in the Xfinity Series, and now they're going to have the 5 trucks. That's a lot of cars to handle for a team that isn't known for being super big to start with. So my thought is if they're going to scale back at a couple of those Xfinity or Xfinity or a Cup ride in order to help on the truck side of this.
Yeah.
Just food for thought.
Rumors around guys that could be joining that program. Daniel Dye was one. The Ram announcement was made at a Ram dealership that his father owns,
which would be a huge jump back down then at that point.
Yep. And then the other name that has been thrown around for a potential full-time ride would be that of Butterbean Queen. Going from ARCA to the trucks.
Obviously, hot shoe out of ARCA right now.
Correct. So, I know who they should call, but they won't. So, I'll just leave that there. For one or any of all of their seats, but whatever. It's fine.
Yep. Fair enough. So, Cam, you get the next handful of them here.
Yep. Got some all driver news. Some moving and shaking. And guys hopping back in the seat for the first time in a while, like Josh Richards. Jeez. He's hopping back in a super late model for his dad, and a car prepared by the Rocket One team. So he's back in the seat for the Hillbilly 100 this weekend, and he's had some success there in the past. So, he's going to be good in equipment. He's at a track he's comfortable with. We'll see what happens. Trevor Bayne, still remember him from when he won the Daytona 500 rain out in the DuPont number 20, but won't be driving that DuPont 20 this weekend. He is in the seat racing for the Tricon 1 at Darlington this weekend. So Trevor Bayne will be back in action. Some news that has hit close to home, and for one of our crew members, his company is hopping on board with this. But Matt Crafton announced he will be done at the end of the year. And then Ty Majeski will take over the 88 truck in 2026. And he's going to take over that sponsorship with none other than Menards.
Yep.
So, a little interesting shakeup.
Boy with a Wisconsin company.
Yeah, it was just, it's just that announcement was one of those ones that you kind of expect it, but it's still a surprise when it's finally announced.
Yep.
Like, it's just like you're waiting for it, and then you go, you know what? Maybe he's not done. And then they announce it, and you're like, yep, he is done.
Yep.
Talk about a staple in the truck series for
man.
ever.
He was kind of one of the last of that old Craftsman truck era. He's the last guy.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. See how that shakes out. But he's keeping himself in the news here. Hasn't been for winning, to say the least. But Donnie Schatz announces he'll be running the rest of August with Lundstrom Motorsports, which came just after one race and the announcement of racing with Big Game Motorsports. So, a little bit of
follow up to that.
I was going to say sub bullet point to that. Schatz is hopping in. Kevin Kozlowski's works limited sprint car with none other than Paul Silva turning wrenches on that thing as his crew chief. So, and then kind of announces he's got a ride through September 20th. So, just when we thought Donnie was out, still treading water out there.
Essentially, that covers the West Coast swing that the World Outlaws got coming up. And obviously, Paul Silva being a West Coast guy, perfect pairing.
Really quick before I forget this one, I just watched Hunt the Front's most recent YouTube video. Joseph Joyner is going to jump in that JCM 19, and he is going to fill out the rest of the Lucas Oil season with JCM, with a couple exceptions where he has conflicts with Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series. So they're going to the World 100 they're putting one rocket and one capital in the trailer, and they're not sure which car they're going to run.
Who was in that JCM car?
Spencer Hughes.
Got it.
So he's going to fill that seat for the rest of the Lucas Oil season, with the exception of a couple Hunt the Front dates. So yeah, they just announced that in their most recent YouTube video, actually. So it just came to my brain as we were talking about dirt stuff. So
sure.
Okay, carry on.
Talking about drivers and rides. So this is a follow-up to Cadillac entering Formula One here in the next season. They have announced that Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez, both former IndyCar drivers, or not IndyCar, Formula One drivers themselves, will be filling those rides for next year. There was some speculation that they were going to be the two guys to do it, and ultimately they were. So they are back in Formula One starting next year. Sticking on the short track scene, a deal is very close to being announced between Metro and Speedway Motorsports for bringing NASCAR back to National Fairgrounds, or at least start the process of that. But the ever looming issue is that it's still got to get the city approval for all this as well. So,
yep.
Which is pretty much where all this holdup has been to start with. So, on the IndyCar side, IndyCar and iRacing have announced that they're going to have a new IndyCar video game, or at least they have one in development for both PC and consoles.
Nice.
It's pretty much similar to the NASCAR game. as far as what to expect out of it and things that they're going to do. So it's going to be like that, just the IndyCar version. So guys are super excited for that. I think it's one of the first IndyCar video games in several years. So
Yep.
cool to see that. And then in some sadder news, longtime Charlotte Motor Speedway president, promoter, general manager Humphrey Wheeler passed away. Um, he was obviously very well known for his spectacular at-track entertainment between the Coke 600 pre-race shows and promotions that he did. So he was set the tone for just what a track promoter president can do at the racetrack
Yep.
and set up what is today Speedway Motorsports. So sad deal, but set the tone for everybody else. So
Absolutely.
all right. Any other final thoughts here before we Wheelman of the
Oh,
week?
we lost one.
Yeah.
It's gonna make the wheelman tough.
Yeah, because I don't know which way you're leaning, but I might be going a different way here as well. All right, so let's throw in the nominations. Maybe he'll jump back in and we can go from there.
Yep. Go
Um,
ahead.
I'll take I guess we'll just kind of do every other here.
Yep.
Ryan Blaney going from 13th to first in 2 laps at Daytona to capture his second Coke 0400 win, and getting his second win on the season.
Bobby Pierce sweeps the weekend at Arrowhead with the World of Outlaw late models.
Justin Grant wins an insane Kokomo SmackDown racing with Briggs Danner. He ultimately gets the win after Danner wrecks, and he does it with a broken foot.
Yep.
Still recovering from that.
Parker Kligerman wins the Xfinity race at Daytona, subbing mid race for Connor Zilic. So that was quite the wild. Those two had a little bit of experience doing a driver change running the 24 hours. So they are good to go there.
Parker Kligerman crosses the finish line first in 2 races, but isn't credited with any of those wins.
Yep.
Hell of a story to tell. And then finally, Corey Day wins his third straight Gold Cup. He's the second ever driver to do this. I think Steve Kinzer was the other one to do this, if I remember right.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we lost the one, so I guess we're gonna have to hope and pray on this one.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm down to 2.
It's either Justin Grant or Corey Day.
I was gonna do Justin Grant or Ryan Blaney, so I think for the fact that we both have Justin Grant,
Yeah.
got to be Justin Grant.
Yep. Fair enough.
So that's it, Justin Grant,
Yeah, for sure.
which is another new one for us.
Yep. Another first timer.
I mean, I don't know if you watched that race, but I ended up watching that one when Grant caught up to Briggs Danner. Them two were going at it.
Yeah.
Kokomo was on fire this weekend.
Kokomo produces.
Them guys were going at it.
Yep.
So, no, that was a good one. So, Justin Grant, Wheelman of the week.
Yes,
Broken
sir.
leg and all. So,
Yep.
well, this would normally be the part where we talk about races coming up, but the schedule is out on our socials. I don't know if you want to maybe touch on just some highlighted ones that we're looking forward to or we're thinking about or anything along those lines.
Yeah. So let's take a glance at the schedule really quick. Oops.
I'll point out a couple here that I know I'm looking at. Um, High Limits, they ran their midweek series already once this week, but they're heading back to Skagit Speedway for their Skagit Nationals. A lot of money on the line for that one. Always ends up being a good one. Then the USAC Midgets make their way actually to Angel Park on Sunday evening. They'll be in co-raced with the Badger Midgets. Um, I will hopefully be in attendance for that one, to be determined on that yet. And then IndyCar wraps up their season at Nashville this weekend as well.
Yep. Couple other ones we're kind of keeping an eye on. Lucas Oil Hillbilly 100. That's the 57th edition. That is at Lernerville. So they're there for that one. We will both be at the Jim Sauter at Dells Raceway Park for the Midwest Tour. $10,000 to win Jim Sauter Classic 200. They will also be joined by the Midwest Truck Series. And they put out their inch list, and they got a load of trucks showing up for that one.
Yeah, 28 trucks.
So, you got the supers, the truckers, and then you got the 602s as well that will join those guys. Again, sticking to the NASCAR side of things, you got the trucks going to Darlington. You got Xfinity at Portland.
Yep.
And then you got obviously the Cup guys running the Southern 500 late on Sunday night, racing into the darkness. So, kind of one of the local one, tons of super late models. If they can ever get a race in without rain, they're going to try to go Monday at Golden Sands for the Cleaver Classic on Monday afternoon.
Yep.
So there we are.
Cool deal. Race picks. So one of us did really well last week. Cam picking Blaney. Kind of kicking myself in the ass for that one. Callan, you actually had Busher, who didn't do too bad for you. I think he finished 7th in the race. I had Cindric, who obviously was caught up in that last wreck, which means I get to pick first this weekend for Darlington. Oh, and I don't know which way I want to go with this one. Give me, oop, wrong box. Give me Larson. Give me Kyle Larson.
Okay. You left me who I wanted, so that works out good. Give me Denny.
I was thinking of him as well.
Yep, give me Denny.
And our third one obviously isn't here. He'll get to make his pick later on, which kind of works out good because he was last anyways. So
Yep. For sure.
Quick look at the point standings. Cam is still in the lead by 126 points. I'm in second, and I lead Kellen by 113 is what we're sitting at there. So, and the playoffs reset for fantasy.
Yep.
Start with a fresh slate essentially for fantasy this week, which I believe I was the regular season champ.
Yes, I believe you were as well.
So I will make that note here, which unfortunately for me is 2 years in a row. So we'll see if I could break my curse of not winning the playoffs then. So,
yep.
Which Kellen, you're the 2-time and defending champ when it comes to actual playoffs here. So,
oh yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
So, all right. Any final thoughts here before we sign off for the evening?
No. Be a good holiday weekend racing.
A lot of specials this weekend.
Yeah. A lot of specials, a lot of chances to get to your local racetrack.
Yep.
So, no.
Absolutely. So with that, again, make sure you go visit your local short track. A lot of specials going on. Some tracks are closing down for the season as well. So be sure to check them out. Always be sure to tune in if you can't get to the racetracks as well. Watch it whatever you can on television. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on all the socials. Get the latest and greatest news and our content that we put out. But until then, we'll see you next week's episode of the Tuesday Track Talk.